are additional regulations for some new downtown developments designed to make it more convenient for employees to ride their bikes to work. The issue, letting people know where the empty spaces are located just as they're arriving downtown. Yoga is believed to have a calming effect on adults who practice it, and it apparently works on babies too. When 30-year-old Zukra Supiva was sworn in as a West Palm Beach police officer, she could hardly contain her emotions.
I want to thank you, my mom and my little sister, for always being here for me.
The daughter of a single mom who'd immigrated from Kazakhstan, Officer Supiva had worked as a 911 dispatcher for over 5 years, helping people in distress over the phone, sometimes in Russian. It was during that time, connecting cops to crime scenes, that Supiva finally decided to follow her dream and become a police officer.
Each call that we've had, I'm always like, man, I wish I was out there.
And so she did, through 6 months of training at the police academy, followed by more at the department.
I'm in charge, right?
Learning how to deal with combative suspects, how to safely use handcuffs and shackles, and also how to talk to people in the field to de-escalate situations.
Women have to have that verbal judo, per se, and better communication skills with individuals to be able to talk them down instead of going hands-on right away.
And she was chomping at the bit to get started.
I cannot wait.
She doesn't have to wait anymore.
This is going to be the case number with the ticket right here. And then, yep.
Now, with many action-packed 12-hour shifts already under her belt, Supiva says,
It's good. A little bit nerve-wracking, but it's good, exciting.
Like all new hires, Supiva is paired with an experienced field training officer who serves as a mentor and shows her the ropes.
We figure out exactly where the collision was. Was it in the middle of the road?
But while it might be more exciting to be out in the field, it's also a lot more dangerous, and her mom still worries.
Let's just say I get a few more extra "I love you, be safe" text messages throughout the day.
In any case, just a few months into her new job, Supiva feels this is exactly what she's meant to do, and she hopes to be doing it for a very long time. You're still sure you want to do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
I love it. It's been my dream. It'll never change. I remind myself every day why I do this, and I'll never give up. So I'm here to stay.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. As Hurricane Matthew approached, those who hadn't evacuated headed home in a driving rain to make last-minute preparations. Businesses like these on Dixie Highway already shuttered or boarded up. In downtown West Palm Beach, City Hall shut down. Clematis Street, usually packed on a Thursday afternoon, a virtual ghost town. At the city's 2-year-old Emergency Operations Center, housed in the high-tech Fire Station 5, the mayor and a group of administrators and department managers settled in to stay for the duration, sleeping in the center's small dorm rooms, working out logistics for a worst-case scenario.
West Palm Beach EOC, how can I help you?
A phone bank set up to handle storm-related calls from the public.
Okay, is it inside the building or outside?
And downstairs, police officers and firefighters also dug in. The calls coming in steadily hours before Matthew's predicted landfall, as slick roads and frayed nerves led to accidents like this one. And as Hurricane Matthew drew even closer, forecasts called for a strong Category 4 with 130-mile-an-hour winds. But fortunately and unexpectedly, Matthew took a slight turn to the east and didn't make a direct hit here. So on Friday, when the hurricane finally headed north, this is what it left behind. Toppled trees, scattered palm fronds, several water main breaks, a few down power lines, and city crews working marathon hours set out to clean up the mostly minor damage.
You guys all right?
Yeah.
And by Saturday, on the waterfront, no sign that a hurricane had just passed by.
And I just woke up and thought, oh, praise God.
The Crosbys, who'd recently moved here from Massachusetts, had evacuated to Tampa as soon as they heard the word hurricane. When they got back and saw that their home and sailboat were just fine, they were incredibly relieved.
The waves didn't look that bad. I was expecting so much worse.
So now that you've been through a hurricane, do you feel like a real Floridian?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But even those who grew up here had to admit that this time we really lucked out.
And I thank God for everything that he blew away.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. For this city crew, a routine water main repair job quickly turned into a life and death emergency call involving an apparent suicide attempt.
We heard a whole bunch of screaming and dogs barking, and that's when the guy's son came out and said his dad needed help. And when I ran across the street, I was like, "Where your dad at?" He pointed up in the yard, and that's when I seen him hanging from the tree.
So the 6 workers sprang into action.
We ran up in the yard, and we was able to lift him up so we could take the pressure off his neck.
So I hopped on the chair and I pulled the dog leash off of the tree branch that was holding him up.
They called 911 and waited for an ambulance. Authorities say without their quick action, the man probably would have died. Later, 3 of the crew members stopped by his house to check on him.
He was happy. He shook our hand and then he hugged us. He started crying a little bit.
Mayor James thanked the crew during a ceremony at City Hall.
Thank you so much.
And again during his State of the City address.
The men were so humble and unassuming and simply said, "Mayor, it's no big deal. We're just doing our job." Well, you know, it's a big deal to me.
The Hero crew members say they often think about what happened that day and have these words for anyone who may be feeling helpless and lost.
You got multiple people that actually care for you even though you don't think so. You always have someone there for you.
If you are in crisis and need help, please call or text 988 to reach the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. Esther Bondaref knows a lot about the animals at the Palm Beach Zoo.
Say hi. Say I'm so pretty.
After all, she once chaired the zoo's board of directors. She's been volunteering for 27 years, going through the same training as everyone else.
They've taught me to be patient, which is a difficult thing for me, and to greet everybody the same way.
But what makes her different is her age. Esther is 99 years old and still going strong. Her philosophy is simple.
If you want to stick around, you have to move your body and your mind. And you have an interest to get up for in the morning.
She gets up in the morning to help with the crowd at shows like this one and behind the scenes too.
There you go. Thank you.
Kids who run into the zoo's oldest docent can expect a pop quiz.
What does the frog say? Ribbit, ribbit.
And while most who meet her admire Esther's get up and go, some people just don't get it.
They think I'm nuts. They thought I should be home, maybe sitting in a wheelchair and knitting or something.
Esther says that's not going to happen because according to her, this is the new 99 and she's not planning to slow down anytime soon. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.